Okay, welcome, Fogs and Fogettes that are playing in Los Venturas right now. This is the Punkery Show, here with your host, Rashawn, and a bunch of Fogs. Today we're going to talk about this guy, Mad Kid, right? He made a suggestion saying, hey, you should go back to one server. No more two server, back to one server. We'll talk about that in a bit. Before we go to the sponsor, I just wanted to let you guys know that Marcus Weed is here. What's up, Marcus?
Yes, hello.
Weed? Now, a certain person, I'm not going to say his name, a certain person changed his name to Pablo Escobar on the Discord, okay? And this reason for it is because of Marcus Weed being in Spain. Problem is, Pablo Escobar is from Colombia, so we will we will give this sound to the person that tried to make that joke. There you go. Pablo Escobar is from Spain. Right there. Anyway, let's get to our sponsor today. Our sponsor is Fast Forward Audio. Let's hear this now.
Here at Fast Forward In-Vehicle Audio, we're taking in car music to the future. For some time now, sophisticated music-loving drivers have understood that the future of music is the audio cassette. Fast Forward, rewind, time and time again. It's the Fast Forward promise, and it's available today. No money down, full credit, just $3.55 APR. In particular, for people who like to make superior quality mixtapes that really have a message, we were the first company in the state to offer super high-bias chrome metallic cassettes. Take your music anywhere. It never skips or scratches, just rips, tears, or melts. Our unique low financing offer gives you the future today.
All right, that was the sponsor, Fast Forward Audio from Vice City Stories. Looking at Los Venturas right now, look at the amount of hit contracts on the server right now. I mean, how much? 18 hits on the server? That means a fifth of the server right now has a hit. This guy, what's his name? Targus BW Dab. Shout out to him. He said the Scarface guy. Scarface has a hit on him, but he doesn't. I guess I read that wrong. But for all the hitmen in Los Venturas right now, you'll have a field day. You'll have a field day with all of these hits. Okay. All right. So there's this fog on the forum, right? And he said, hey, the server barely gets 100 players, whatever. We should go back to one server. Now, this is a terrible idea. Now, listen, obviously I hate Los Venturas. If there's one server on, and Los Venturas is on, I'm not going to join it. You're going to lose me for 2.5 hours. I come in, I say, hey, I want to play CNR, I want to relax. I see a city that I hate. I'm not going to play CNR. Okay? And that also goes for, for example, if San Fierro is on, that's my best city, right? San Fierro is on. And now all the LB Fogs that would have played Los Venturas had Los Venturas been on, now they're going to start coming in San Fierro and they're going to destroy my beloved city. See, whenever I play San Fierro, I don't want to see 20 J Daniels in my city, okay? I'd rather see J Daniel go play as Los Venturas and all the San Fierro players play San Fierro. See, in the Restfield Chase, the Rate My Chase from Restfield, earlier this year, I gave an announcement to every LB player to say, well, apparently when you have live radio, okay, you got technical difficulties. What was going on? Could you hear me, faggot? No? Yes? Oh. Okay. Where did I leave off on? I left off on, look at Las Venturas right now. See, 107 players. I mean, that's a good amount of players, but, if LB, for example, if, we had no guns weekend, actually, no, that's a good idea. But what if there was an update, right? During the Halloween update, we're going to have 170 on. During the Halloween update, we're probably going to see 180, probably close to 200. And the server is just going to be pure autism. You're going to have a bunch of people cheating to find pumpkins on the street. Not going to say his name. People are going to be mad. Oh, you stole my pumpkin. I'm going to DM you. So more players is more autism. Okay, I'd rather be in a quiet server with 70, 80 players, and we go from there. See, what do you think? Like, I'm not crazy, right? I mean, I'm not crazy. You know,
No,
I'd rather.
Rashawn, I back you on that because it would be terrible for SF to have the nasty SLV players. All right, I mean, look at here. I mean, you see 18 hit contracts. All right, they place hit on each other. All right, they fight each other 24/7. I mean, we don't need that in SF. All right, SF is the best city for a reason. All right, because we don't have those players there. All right.
Yeah, because there we
So
got cops shooting each other instead.
yeah, I know, but it's. I mean,
Yeah, imagine there being one server again. That Los Santos players are noobs, pretty much.
no,
So if San Fierro is on, the Los Santos players are probably gonna go into San Fierro. They're gonna start cop DMing, and there's gonna be a huge avalanche of cops in front of the PD just shooting each other. I mean, you, this is one of the reasons why segregation would be a good thing.
Rashawn, to be honest, I don't think the LS players can handle SF, right? All the hills, all the stuff, they can't handle a city, that is not this is stable, and I doubt they could play properly SF, and without crashing up, and they're very close and raging, and I just say we stay that way. Two servers probably the best way, and I mean, I personally I don't like LV, all right, and.
Yeah.
I hope there's someone that agrees with me, but I'm not sure what I would do if there was only SF to play. I mean, only LB to play.
LB players, they like. I don't really know why LB is the most popular. It's probably because it's flat. Shout out to Surgic, who just joined LB right now, the cop prostitute of CNR. But I don't know. I mean, if there was one server, it would work out for the Las Venturas players because LB is chaos already. All of the peaceful players from San Fierro, go into LB and it'll probably be nothing. But when you have one server, San Fierro and Los Santos on, or Los Santos on, the LB players come in and they'll make chaos. I mean, they'll do like Europeans, like how they're scared of refugees. Refugees will come in and make chaos. That would be the fear. That's the fear I have. If there was only one server and SF4LS was on and LB players come in, I mean, Jay Daniel, man. Imagine one server. Jay Daniel, an LB player, comes into San Fierro and starts crashing planes into people. Oh, wait. He's already done that. But that's the kind of thing that would happen. And I don't want that to happen. So.
I mean, Jay Daniel, shout out to Jay Daniel, right? I mean, they're 13 days disabled. It just, I mean, that's what happens, and when you do terrible stuff. I mean, that's what happens when you have an LB player playing other cities, It's just like that,
Yeah, we only tolerate that kind of stupidity in LB. Also, Ali gave me the idea. He's like, hey, server 2 should get a lot more publicity, you see, because obviously, usually, no matter what city it is, server 1 always has more people than server 2. Even if server 1 has San Fierro, which is quote-unquote the least played city on the server, and LB server 2, then San Fierro will always have more players. Now, I don't know how you fix this. I mean, I thought, hey, people knew there was a server 1, people know there's a server 2 too, but I guess that's not true.
People know there's two servers, but they only joined one server.
That's kind of dumb.
We don't know why. It's just like
If you want a server to have more players, try playing the game.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, exactly. For all those fags that say, oh, I don't want to join server 2 because it's server 2. Well, if all of those people join server 2, then server 2 would get close to the amount of players that server 1 would get. I mean, honestly, bro. I don't know how people get the server IP, but I'm pretty sure when people join the server and they get the server IP, you know, there's Crazy Bob server 1, Crazy Bob server 2, you know. I don't think it's analogous to, you know, part 1 and part 2 of videos. You know, you notice when you watch videos on YouTube, right? And, you know, there are 2 parts to it. Usually part 1 gets viewed more than part 2, even though part 2 has the end that you want to see. So you know, you'd think part 2 would be watched as much as part 1, but, you know, there are people who are incomplete in their head. You know what I mean?
Actually, I think that you know, the proper explanation to that, you know, is all those net cafes. They only have one IP on favorite. All right, that's why. I mean, there's no other explanation. They simply don't know, or they think that they don't look out. Right,
Maybe the owner has a rule so they only can play on server 1.
It's true. Those.
I mean, the guy comes to the net cafe. Hey, which server you guys playing? Yeah, we're playing on the server 1. I mean, the only server we have here. I mean, so they play together, you know.
If only 25 people and their moms wouldn't be sitting at the same client, all thinking the same thing. Oh, server 2 has less players. I'll go play on server 1.
I know these net cafes. You know, everything is pre-fit. You know, they have
they cheat the mods, the server IP, you know.
The mods are already there. The speedometer mods. That's why they can't join the forum. That's why they can't join the forum.
You know?
They can't post in CNR pics because there's a huge speedometer on the screen. So you know, the PH cafes, the PH cafes are pre-fit, man. So they probably only have server 1 favorited, and then, you know, an individual, right? An individual may add server 2 to the favorites list, but when the computer turns off, right, it gets reset. So server 2 goes away. And there you go.
Every user, you know, there's this setup on the net cafe that you log in, and there's only, you know, you can do whatever you want. You can remove all the mods, and, you know, let's say there's a legit PH player out there, you know, trying to play, you know, honestly. He takes like, you know, half an hour to remove the mods, and he plays for another half an hour, then his session ends, all right, in the net cafe, it reboots, and everything is back. Also, it's kind of sad, you know.
See, what I understand about these net cafes, you see, I mean, who is the one that presets all this? Because you know, the PH informant gave us all the information about give us all the information about, you know, the presets and all that.
Probably PH Net, because he has net in his name.
Fucking PH players. It's the same thing in Indonesia. The Indonesian players, they have the cafe. The Albanians, they have the cafe. In none of those cafes do they have server 2 on the favorites list. What they should have done to fake out the entire cafe was to put server 2 on the favorites list, not server 1. And then somebody would have used their brain and said, "Hey, why does it say Crazy Bob's Cops and Robbers 2? Isn't there a 1?" And then, you know, somebody would add 1, and there you go. But yeah, you never know. You know, these cafes. You know, I did hear that players from those 3 countries, yeah, they don't know about a server 2. It's kind of dumb.
I mean, I think we need to send in a liaison guy, you know, to speak up with the net cafe owners, all right, and, you know, try to get that sorted out. I mean, hey guy, get the server 2 on favorite, man. Come on. You know?
Oh, this is a great idea. See,
I mean, try to, you know, you can always talk to those people. You know, that's the best way to sort out issues. I mean,
see, what needs to happen is the player ambassador to each country needs.
Exactly.
Yeah,
For example, Igly, all right, or Igly, or whatever, he should go to those net cafes and present them that there's a server 2, all right. Say, hey, I have a proposition here, all right, that server 2 IP. So you add it to your, to your template for whatever you have, and get people moving to. I mean, give those guys a job to do, something to do. I mean, who's there? The CNR ambassador for Philippines and for Indonesia.
For PH, well, I mean, it's got to be the PH informant, man. It's got to be the PH informant. I mean, he made himself the informant, so he might as well be the guy to tell everyone. For Indonesia, I don't want to say Rem Best Girl. I don't want to say him. I don't know anyone else.
Taco guy, right? I mean, the meme, not memes, anime, right?
Who, Rem?
Yeah.
No, he's the weeaboo. He's the weeaboo. Well, I mean, an informant can be the ambassador to PH, so a weeaboo can be the ambassador to Indonesia. I mean, besides Rem, name another Indonesian player who has a head.
Indonesian player
that has a brain.
Head.
Ali just said Borrell, even though he's from PH.
Yeah, there's a guy called Steven McGomez, right? Or Lays the Ships,
yes.
or
Wait, isn't he from Malaysia? He's Malaysian, or is I don't know.
Look at this guy, like random DM here, Warlord. I mean, what else can I say? This guy's just shooting us for no reason. Welcome to Las Venturas, man. I mean, look at these people.
See, that reminds me of the conversation you guys are talking about in IRC, which surprisingly I wasn't able to see until after it ended. You were arguing with Titty Boy, an assassin, and some other about San Fierro is obviously the best city because it is the best city. It's tranquil, peaceful, okay, and Titty Boy was like, hey, what do you say? It's like, oh well, all three cities have the same amount of cheaters. You know what I mean?
It's just like those guys, they defend LV like it's their I mean, they're so attached to LV that they just can't that it's like it's like drugs. LV is like a drug. You can't just if you don't play LV, you feel there's need for LV and be on the DMing and be on this. We that play SF, we don't need that. We play a decent city. What is CNR supposed to be, and they don't understand that. They think LV is awesome. Look at this LV. I mean, look at this Rashawn. I mean, you stay here 5 minutes in this exhumer here in front of the ammunition, and what do you see? You see warrants. You see DM. You see people with a helicopter trying to slice people down. I mean, you can play LV, all right? You can. LV is just some kind of addiction. It's complicated to tell. I mean,
yeah, playing Las Venturas is like being on heroin. It's like being on heroin. It feels good, and until you see something else, it'll continue being good because that's the only thing that playing San Fierro and to some extent Los Santos is like being on rehab for heroin. It's painful to get used to the non-DM atmosphere, and to reply to the Las Venturas, San Fierro, Los Santos all have the same amount of cheaters. Maybe.
That's just an excuse, like drug addicts give, but this guys, the other cities out there, they also have drug addict and stuff like that. No, it just doesn't work like that, Rashawn. I mean, you play LV for 5 minutes and you get contaminated. It's just like LV should be on quarantine. I mean,
But here's the thing, just like that guy who got banned 5 minutes ago. Okay, he got banned for cheating after killing 3 people. Okay, using health lock or armor lock or something. San Fierro cheaters, okay? San Fierro cheaters.
It's like Megatronicatron, for example.
Yes.
It's harmless, all right? It's still a cheater, yes, but you can compare, all right? I mean, Megatronicatron sometimes brings fun to the thing. That's the point, all right? You're bored, and there's Megatronicatron with his so-called speed hacks, right? And that's it. I mean, he's not HP locking, he's not aimbotting, he's not, I'm not saying I stand for cheaters, all right? But, we can compare the level of cheaters, all right? Level of cheaters on LV is just,
Okay, first of all, Ali just said hack is hack. Now, which is the worst? Which is a worse hack? You're trying to be a hitman, and you're trying to kill a hit contract who is cheating, who destroys you in 5 seconds because they're using aimbot, or a cheater who is like Megatron, who is using vehicle health lock and some stupid snit and speed hacks and snit. He's not going to kill you. Okay, he's just being a troll. Which one's worse? Yes, the aimbotter.
Obviously, I mean that's
Obviously.
not even up for debate.
Not even up for debate, exactly. See, Sanfiro has harmless cheaters. A cheat is cheat, yes, but there are different degrees of cheating. And I would rather see a Megatron type cheater than a Talachi type cheater
Exactly.
who uses aimbot. And
all those all those people from LV, those DMers, typical player that goes to Palomino Creek or Bayside. What they're gonna do there? Gonna talk about how politics are, or no, they're gonna be there for DM. All right, they're gonna bang each other. Just like that. You see that random car, all right, that handle whatever, could be a Sultan or so, with 4 people, sometimes 6 people. What they're doing. They're just roaming around, having fun. No, they're looking for targets, all right, for lonely wolves out there to kill them, just like that.
And here's the thing: Los Venturas just had 18 hit contracts. Okay,
18. Look at this. I mean, Rashawn.
that is the most hit contracts I have seen since version 24. I don't play this city. I play this city once every week because of this show. Okay, whenever I play Sanfiro Los Santos, even on 100 players, never do you see 20% of the server have hit contract. Nice for hitmen, but
how do you know there's hits on LB if you don't play LB?
Well, here's the thing. I don't need to play LB to know because I just joined it and saw 18 hit contracts. There you go. Shout out to Targus right now trying to ask me how much his Scarface's hit. I'm sorry, bro. I cannot give you that information about that.
I mean, did you pay attention to Nautico's chat, Rashawn? I mean, this guy is just talking about 3v1, about hiding, about that's LV. I mean, welcome to LV. All right. I still stand for the suggestion to exclude LV from the rest. All right, just keep them there. Build up a wall or something, and
Well, yeah, I was gonna react to that because I thought you meant just remove Los Venturas from the entire rotation, but then that would give Los Venturas players no avenue of autism.
No, the problem is if we do that, Rashawn, they're gonna migrate to other cities. All right, so we can't do that. We need to keep them, somehow under our control. All right, so just leave them isolated and
Exactly. So the moral of the story is Crazy Bob should stay with 2 servers. I don't care if we get 70, 80 players. You act like as if 70 or 80 players is a low number. Okay, I like this server a lot more with 70 or 80 players as opposed to 200.
We're talking about a server that has 10 years old. All right, so 7 players, 80 players. That's a lot of players for that. And I mean, take for example when version 0.37 came out, the beta server, which was server 2, it was way funnier to play. 25 players, nothing would happen. Would play peacefully, and so we can say that we're over quality over quantity, right?
Yeah, exactly. Quality over quantity. 200 quantity of autism. 70 quality.
Exactly.
All right, that was that. All right, so we're gonna take a break here. When we come back, we're gonna play some Guess That Faga. We'll be right back on the Punkery Show.
Let's start.
Welcome back to the Punkery Show here. This is your host, Rashawn. We're gonna play Guess That Fag in just a bit, but before we get to that, let's get into our sponsor, Fast Forward audio.
Here at Fast Forward in Vehicle Audio, we're taking in car music to the future. For some time now, sophisticated music-loving drivers have understood that the future of music is the audio cassette. Fast Forward, rewind, time and time again. It's the Fast Forward promise, and it's available today. No money down, full credit, just $3.55 APR. In particular, for people who like to make superior quality mixtapes that really have a message, we were the first company in the state to offer super high-bias chrome metallic cassettes. Take your music anywhere. It never skips or scratches, just rips, tears, or melts. Our unique low financing offer gives you the future today.
All right, that was Fast Forward Audio. We fast forwarded through that sponsor. All right, so it's time now to play some Guess That Fag. Now, I have adjusted the game a bit because we had a record amount of passes last week. I wanted to count them up, but I didn't want to put myself through that. So here are the changes here. I have reduced the number of clues from 8 to 6. So that, you know, there's less of a chance for useless clues, okay? I've also changed the point system to lower the incentive to pass, okay? Now, when I say this point system, it's gonna sound weird, but don't worry about the amount of points. I was trying to get the right ratio, okay? So if you get this on the first clue, you get 16 points, okay? 16 points. On clue number 2, 11. Then for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points, 5 points, 3 points, 2 points. All right, so let's hope that this will be a bit more interesting to watch because last week I almost my head almost hit the wall from the passes, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's see, everything's different. Oh, also this week's version of Guess That Fag is going to be the obvious week. This will be the most obvious players in obvious history. I wish I didn't say that. Oh, yes, also I'm unprepared because I'm supposed to be putting you guys' names in a randomizer, which I don't have up yet. You probably should have been doing that while I was talking. Let's see here. So, I have to randomize the list. Okay, so who's here? Let's see, Cassie, got Borld. This is bad radio right now. We got Vega. Shit, what was this here? Oh, Weed. Okay, so Cassie, Weed, Vega, and Borld. Okay, yes, there you go. Now, I think Borld has said at first he will use Stephen Hawking. Now he says he's gonna say his answers. I'm not sure which one he's gonna do. Which one are you gonna do, bro? Are you gonna Stephen Hawking?
I wanna know if we can have a buzzer like Family Feud, Rashawn.
Or Price is Right.
9 answers on the board.
Maybe one day I'll figure that out. All right, so here we go. Okay, so we have 4 participating players. It's time to play Guess That Fag. All right, clue number 1, Borld. This player is a majority LB player. Give it to me. What a noob. Restfeel. Restfeel's correct.
Caralho, velho. Caralho, velho.
Right. It is Restfeel, yes.
This is rigged, man.
This is rigged, man. I mean, there you go. 16 points for Borld. Yes. 16 points. What a noob. This is going to be a terrible. This will be a terrible episode. All right. Second player now. Clue number 1, Vega. This player is a majority Los Santos player.
Wait, am I next?
Yes. Majority Los Santos player. Give it to me, Vega.
Okay. Jawher.
Jawher, wrong. Cassie. Alexander, wrong. Borld. What has the Stephen Hawking on? Oh, Titty Boy, wrong. Weed.
Nigga with a gun.
Nigga with a gun, wrong. Clue number 2. Clue number 2 and clue number 3 are cut in half, by the way. So clue number 2 is going to be the first half of the sentence. This player is the first player to ask for admin. Cassie.
Caralho, velho. Ah, filha da...
Signal 1! Signal 1 is correct. Yes. There you go. Yeah, so clue number 2 and 3 were connected, so it was this player is the first player to ask for admin and to actually get it. That's GG. Let's see, 11 points for Cassie. GG. Alright. So here we go, this is record time right here. Player number 3. Clue number 1, Vega. This player is a majority LB player.
Baca, Wisconsin.
Baca, Wisconsin. Wrong. Marcus Weed.
Ah, Babor.
Yeah. Wrong. World. Vinix was his answer. Wrong. Cassie.
I think would be Kenwood.
Kenwood. Wrong. Clue number 2, this player is American. World. Disco was his answer. Wrong. Cassie.
Bobby B.
Bobby Gee. Wrong. Vega.
Backfire.
Backfire. Wrong. Marcus Weed.
Assassin.
Wrong.
Ah, vai tomar no cu.
Clue number 3, this player mainly uses a rustler. World. Get the Stephen Hawking going like this here. Ninja Man Cop. Yes, Ninja Man Cop is correct. Yes, the rustler, whiny LB faggot. Nice job, World. And World gets 7 more points. How about that? I don't doubt that. 7 more points for World. He's at 23. I don't think this scoring system is going to win. Anyway, but we'll see. Player number 4. These players are way too obvious. What the fuck, man? Player number 4, clue number 1, Cassie. This player is a majority LB player.
Backfire 911.
Backfire. Wrong. Vega.
Where you be?
Player is a majority LB player.
Surgic.
Surgic. Wrong. Weed.
I'm gonna stick with Babel.
Okay. Wrong. World. Stephen Hawking. Fofo. Wrong. Clue number 2. This player doesn't seem to carry out complex thought processes. That's the weirdest clue of the day, by
Say
the way.
again?
This player doesn't seem to carry out complex thought processes. That's going to be the weirdest clue of the day, by the way. Don't be mad. Cassie.
I don't know.
Wrong. Vega.
Hey, Daniel.
That's a great guess. Marcus Weed.
I thought it was J. Daniel, damn it. I would say Jar, I don't know.
Wrong. World. Tanner. Wrong. Clue number 3. There is no known footage of this player solo copping in a car. World. Benny Boy. Wrong. Cassie.
What's her name? Macon, Wisconsin.
Macon, Wisconsin is correct. Yes. GG. Macon, Wisconsin is correct. 7 more points for Cassie. 23 to 18. World. 23. Cassie 18. I just want to say, clue number 4, by the way, was this player is one of the many players who have pimped out Surgic to be a cop prostitute in order to have him as their cop driver. Just wanted to say that. Shout out to Surgic, he is a cop prostitute. Alright, so this game has lasted like 7 minutes, GG. Final player, I guess that Faga. Player is a majority LB player. Weed.
Jesus Christ, man. I'm gonna stay with Nordico, or I don't know.
Notico. Wrong. Vega.
Skimmer.
Skimmer. Wrong. Cassie.
Music box.
Music box, wrong. World. It's Ali, wrong. I forgot to say. Oh, Ali's not playing anymore. Clue number 2. Why did I do this? Clue number 2, Cassie. This player has severe autism and was dubbed the Queen of Autism on the old CNR Mumble.
Oh, wait. Oh, what's her name? I forgot her name now.
Wrong.
Princess Kenny.
Princess Kenny? Wrong. Wrong. World.
Game is stupid.
It's not Warlord.
Ricart, wrong. Vega. Savage. Vega. Where Vega at?
Pass.
Wrong. Weed.
J. Daniel.
I knew Vega knew it. But J. Daniel, yes. J. Daniel is correct. And GG, 11 points for him. And GG World has won. Guess that 5. Now, he gets...
How many points
let's see, World had 23, Cassie had 18, and Weed came up with 11, that last one.
That
Yes,
got
these-
So
man.
1?
No, you lost.
World
fuck.
won. This was the most obvious game in history, and I regret doing that. Okay. See, what I did was, since, Ali's first guess is always Sigma 1 on Los Santos, right? Cyber's first guess is always Westfield.
Wait, I guessed
Right.
that.
Let me see. That's true. So here's what we learned, guys. Here's what we learned. Would we rather have would we rather have 47 passes like we had last week, or would we rather have a 9-minute game with 5 obvious people? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. Next week I'll make the players a bit more obscure. Hopefully. But yes. Okay, so GG to World.
He cheated.
Yeah, he cheated. He took the weed. He had some weed for sure. The weed made him think of those players, right, Marcus Reed?
That's American
Yeah, right.
country.
Goddamn weed.
Goddamn weed. Okay, so the reason why I waited for the Numbnut of the week to be at the end of the show is because J. Daniel was a player. And so, J. Daniel, see, this guy, he's 14 years old. He is an attention-seeking faggot, you know what I mean? I'm sure Hurricane Irma was devastating for him, not because of the impact, but because it, for 5 days, lessened his impact on getting attention, because that is what he is. You know what I mean? Obviously, kids need attention. When you're a child, you need attention from your parents. You need attention from people, and sometimes it's unconditional. But there are times when people who don't get attention have to, butt in and try very hard to get attention. And J. Daniel is one of those people. Okay, so this faggot, right? Last week, he was disabled. I disabled him because his Rustler crashed about 50 meters away from me. And I'm like, okay, J. Daniel, this faggot just crashed the Rustler right next to me. So I'm like, okay, this guy, it must be on purpose because, J. Daniel's a retard. So I disabled him, right? And he comes back and he's like, oh, Sean, that was a mistake. I couldn't control my Rustler. Why you disable me for no reason? You disable me for accident. And, see, I don't like to give sympathy to autists, autists. But J. Daniel's reaction was not one of a suicide bomber. Okay, so I was like, okay, even though Jay Daniel is a faggy, I, got his disable removed. Okay, and his disable was removed. But then the next week, I came into the server and I was like, oh, hey guys, watch out. You might get disabled for accidentally crashing your wrestler.
You did that? I can't believe that. Puta que
Yes. Now I was like, okay, I mean, that's fine. Okay. And he was playing San Fierro, just like we were talking about earlier. Los Ventura's players playing other cities, they, be stupid. You know what I mean? Like I said before, Los Ventura's players suck on the other cities because they just don't know what to do. There's no one to fight, so they, be stupid. So near the end of that game week, Jay Daniel, he was in the Rustler all week. He died 7 times, suicided 7 times in random areas of the city. I'm driving back to my house, right? And, I'm just minding my own business, you know what I mean? And driving to my house before the end of the game week. I just said that, didn't I? And this faggot in the Rustler, comes around, he touches down, he suicides, right? The plane is blowing up. And and he quits immediately. After the plane blows up, he quits immediately. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is Jay Daniel being Jay Daniel, a faggy, you feel me? So I stopped the car because I'm trying to process what just went on. It's just like when Rackrat, right? Rackrat can't shoot and read chat at the same time. So that was one of the moments where I could not think and drive at the same time because I was processing what was going on. So I stopped the car and I drive the car again, but the Rustler is gliding along the road and it blows me up. And had I kept driving, I wouldn't have gotten blown up. But the result is the same. So, Jay Daniel, I give this guy a warning, okay? Because last week he was complaining, oh, Rashad, you don't give me warning, you just disable me right away. Well, this is the reason why faggots like Jay Daniel and other 14-year-olds on the server don't get a warning. If you get disabled 1,000,000 times, then don't expect to get a warning. That's why Jay Daniel is disabled for almost 2 weeks. In his topic, he said he'll be back and dumber than ever, but I think he meant to say he'll be back and more autistic than ever, because obviously, like I said in the guest at FAG, in the old CNR Mumble, Jay Daniel won the Queen of Autism. Lucas won the King of Autism. Jay Daniel won the Queen of Autism. So, the moral of the story, kids, is, don't seek attention, okay? If you're a good fag, attention will come to you. And it'll mostly be attention that you don't want. But, another thing is he plays Los Venturas. Los Venturas is where the most attention is paid. So, yes, he's an LB fag. So, Jay Daniel, who wants attention, I gave him attention today. He is the Numbnut of the week. So, congratulations. Let's give a clap to Jay Daniel there. I can't clap while talking because yeah, there you go. Thank you. Thank you for the round of applause right there.
Am I the only one who doesn't like Guess That Fog?
Well, think about it is,
I'm not a big fan of guessing games, but you asked when the clues are majority LB player and this player has severe autism, I got like 10 potential candidates. Then Warlord guesses a random name off of that list and gets it instantly.
Obviously, I was trying to improve a point because what I wanted was the game to prolong. I didn't want people to guess on clue number 1 and 2. I wanted it to go to 5, 6, and 7. And the faggots last week, they, instead of thinking of a name, I mean, if you want to pass, you can pass, whatever. But, Yes, the clues were obscure. Yes, last week or the week before, whatever. But if you use your head, there are many players in CNR. Even if you're wrong, even if the clue is North American, you say Octavia, whatever. I mean, it's still a guess. You feel me? So my point with this week was I bring 5 obvious players. If the clues are very revealing, then it's going to narrow down too quickly. And what people are wishing for is going to last 7 minutes. And I don't think the point is going to get to the fags. But yeah, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Why was Restfield reused?
I don't think I used Restfield before. It's just
no.
It's just
I think everything is just mad that he couldn't guess one guy, or I mean,
it's really hard to guess the right person when it's so broad.
Oh well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an LV player, and it was kind of complicated to guess out LV players. Yeah.
Well, the first clue isn't supposed to narrow
be an
down
actual clue, or
see,
I mean, it's a.
See, the majority player snit is supposed to, you have a huge pool of players. Anybody could be the player. Majority LB player, then it cuts it to one of the 3 cityscapes.
Did I miss something about Jay Daniel being the answer to Queen of Passenger?
Queen of Autism. Queen of
Autism.
Yes, Queen of Autism. Yes, that was way too obviously a clue, but that was my point. Because if the game ended on clue number 2 every time, then it sucks. That was my point. To all the gays last week, they were saying, "Oh, they're shitty clues. What do you expect?" I'm assassin, but I mean, yeah. But because as the weeks have gone on, it's been progressively unwatchable, which I didn't think would happen.
I don't remember Jay Daniel being referred to as a queen, so.
Queen of, you don't remember that?
Nope.
Queen of Autism.
We had this document on Mumble with the autism rate of everybody, and at the end of the day, Jay Daniel, it was the second one, so he was proclaimed the Queen of Autism on Mumble.
Kind of hard to remember Mumble days when the Discord meme days were overloaded in that.
Oh yes, it's Wednesday, my dudes. Speaking of,
Mumble should be brought back.
I've gotten used to Discord. I've gotten used to it. Oh well, though. Let's see here. Well, okay. So next week, maybe the players are not going to be as easy because I intentionally made it so that players who people have guessed many times last week would end up being the actual fags. Because last week people were saying, they were guessing Ali and they were guessing Mellow Hammer, and I'm like, guessing Rashawn, and I'm like, oh, what? Huh? What? Yes, yes. So anyway, tomorrow we're gonna have Mug Christy Edge, the Sam Faggy. Is gonna be on. He's gonna be the first player east of England to be interviewed on the show, so I give some props to Mug Christy Edge on that one. There's also a possibility that next week, on Thursday, we're going to have Jawher7 on the show. I've requested for that for the past couple of weeks. There's a decent chance that could turn into autism. But here's the thing, Jawher7.
Oh. We're gonna talk about the millstone that he has on Junkie of the Day, or.
But here's the thing, Kyle Smith got interviewed, and after Kyle Smith got interviewed, I looked at him in a little bit of a better light. So maybe after the interview for Jawher, maybe we'll see him in a better light after it's all said and done. I really don't want to, because like I said before, I want my CNR players to be consistent. If you're a fag, I want you to stay a fag. If you're a nice player, I want to see you be a nice player. I don't want you to change. That's pretty much what I want. But yes, all right. So obviously, yes. Watch the last Rate My Chase between Evangelist and Blister. That chase was good. I think it was a bit. Yes, it was a great, it was a very good chase and all that. Also watched the Rembest Girl Rate My Chase. That was very trippy right there, and all that. So for all the fags here, Ali, Boiled, Cassie, Weed, everything. Did I say Boiled's name? Yeah, Boiled, and also Cyberg, who just came back from playing CS Joke. What can I say? I mean, I wanted to say something, but I'm not going to say it over the radio. But anyway, for all those people, this is Rashawn, and we will see you next time on the CNR Radio Talk Show.